Our countdown to kickoff continues. Today, we stop in Shawnee, and we get to visit with the head coach of the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, Coach Chris Jensen. Coach, I know that you've been there now for heading into an 10th or 11th season, depending upon how you look at it, and the program got started under you back in NAIA days. Since you all have made the transition to Division II, every single year the win total has either remained the same or gotten higher. So it looks like if there is some kind of long-term plan, you all are holding to it and getting better every year.
Well, that is the plan. We do have an interest in setting a championship standard in our conference, and we know who is doing that right now. And we want to be those guys. We try to go about our business the right way. We have great kids, and they have a tremendous work ethic. And I have a great staff that I work with, coaching staff. But, the administration here at OBU with Robert Davenport and Dr. Heath Thomas as our president has a desire to be successful as well. And they're tremendously supportive. And I don't overlook that. We just, as far as athletics is concerned on our campus, we have to keep getting better to keep up with everybody else with, all the programs that are so successful here, our basketball program and baseball, track, cross country. Our cheer and our pom, our dance team, everybody is just extremely successful. And so, we don't want to be the ones at the bottom of the pack, and, we just keep trying to get better.
Well, you're right, Coach. I mean, there is a lot of success there at Oklahoma Baptist, and it just does continue to seem, year after year. So it is a great program. Congratulations again to the athletic department, to Mr. Davenport, and all that goes on there. We look at your team then as we head into 2021. I'm sure everyone is ready to get things going. Looking at the offense and think back of what Preston Hare did, throwing for more than 3,000 yards, combining passing and rushing touchdowns, 33, and he's back.
Yes.
You have a number of players coming back as seniors or redshirt seniors or COVID seniors, however you want to pronounce it. Doesn't matter. They're going to be back on your roster along with Tyler Seaver, who rushed for more than 700 yards, and Josh Cornell. You got your leading passer, leading rusher, leading receiver from a couple of years ago coming back. At least numerically, the stats look good. Can all that translate from 2 years ago to success this year?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. And for us, it's taking the practice field to the game field, because that's all we've done for the last 700 days is practice. And so, there are a lot of questions out there, but, I love the way that our players, under the leadership of the guys that you mentioned and some of the other older guys, under their leadership, the way that they've prepared for this football season, I think they're hungry to get out there and compete against somebody else. And, I've been impressed with the way that they don't waste a day. The preseason can be a grind. The schedules that you have to keep and all the things that you have to do to try to get to game speed before week one can be a grind it's a grind for everybody. It's a grind for coaches. It's a grind for players. And we haven't had to do that since 2019. And I think they've approached it the right way. I think the coaches have, and I think the players have. Whether we're at the level we need to be to set that championship standard this year or not, we're in process of getting there.
Among the players on that offensive side of the ball, I mentioned Preston here coming back. Then I would think that has to be a luxury and leadership provided, as you mentioned. Then can you talk about your offense a bit?
Yeah, tremendous leadership on the offensive side of the ball, and a lot of those guys. You mentioned some of the key players that were recognized after 2019, but there's also a lot of other returning starters. Shea Garner, especially on the offensive line, Shea Garner as a wide receiver, but on the offensive line, you got Lincoln Adams, Zach Frazier, Jake Foshee, JT Von Gore are all returning starters on the offensive line. Add another big body in Caleb Butler, who's running with the ones right now. He's a younger player, but our two guards, Zach Frazier and and Caleb Butler, are probably the biggest guard combination in the GAC. I would think they are massive individuals. They make me look small, and I played offensive line back in the day. But we just have that group has been impressive in practice. I think Tyler Seaver is going to be somebody that is known nationally when this is all said and done. Obviously Cornell and and Preston both, with their leadership and their success and their competitive attitude, we're real excited about what's ahead of us.
We're speaking now with Chris Jensen from Oklahoma Baptist. The Bison picked fourth, according to the GAC preseason poll. And Coach, I talked about the program seeming to, just continue to rise and get better and better. Obviously, recognition from the fellow coaches in the league, but you've also gotten some votes too in the AFCA preseason poll too. So getting some attention nationally as well. And I think that has to go a long way for what you all are doing. We look at the defensive side of the ball, then Josh Arnold comes to mind right off the bat, leading returner in tackles, leading in tackles in 2019, had more than 100 tackles, but also led the team in sacks as well. And that has to be a good start then for your defense.
Yeah, Josh, he's another one of those guys. Josh and Preston both, were faced with that decision. Do I go on with the rest of my life? Because Josh had a number of, he's already graduated. He's had a number of job offers, good job offers. And, we're just so blessed that Josh decided that he wants to play as long as he can. And, he comes back and provides tremendous leadership for our defense, along with Felipe Alvear, a returning safety, who's just worked his tail off to try to be his very best. I'll give you a quick insight into our program with the introduction of the number 0 in college football. I wanted to do something different with that number. Sometimes that number is, something selected by a player because they want all the fingers to be pointed at them. It seems to be an indication of humility when it's really not. And so, for us, the only way you can be awarded 0 in our program is you have to go through the offseason preceding the season. So last spring, our players, talked to them at the beginning of the semester, keep in mind the person that demonstrates our core values the best, who lives them the best, who expects others to live them the best. And at the end of the spring, I had them vote for that one player that is the best representation of our core values, and he's going to be awarded the number 0. Well, Felipe won that award with our program. And so, whether he wants to wear 25 or he wants to wear 0, it will be completely up to him. But that's his number, right? 0 is his number. He's going to be awarded that on senior recognition. He can wear it in the games if he wants to, or he can wear his other number. It's up to him. But that's the highest honor you can get in our program, I think, is being recognized by your teammates as somebody that represents the core values of our team. And so, just so proud of him. And we have some other guys that could have done that, but, it's Felipe was well deserving. He just works his tail off. We've got some other guys, some young guys that haven't been seen yet, especially up on the defensive line up front. We have better depth than we've had in a long time. We have also, another linebacker that has really had a phenomenal spring. And, we were really impressed with the progress he's made so far as Nick Boone. And then, in the secondary, Tyler King, TK at corner is a returning starter. And we've got some other guys that have got experience, but those guys have really excelled in preseason so far.
Coach, I love that story. That's fantastic. That is a great story about the number 0. And I think that's going to be really cool then as your fans get to know that over the years, they'll be looking for
right.
that and recognizing that as well. That is really neat. Well, the season gets underway in just days now, and I know everyone's excited about college football. I'm sure that your boys are ready to get out there and see someone with a different color uniform. They're going to get their chance on a Thursday against Ouachita in Arkadelphia. That's where the season gets started for you all this year.
Right. Yeah, what a phenomenal program that Todd Knight has there. I have the utmost respect. They do set the championship standard. Let's not dance around the subject with their level of success. They set the championship standard in our conference. And, whether we win or lose that game, it doesn't say whether or not we've accomplished that standard yet. We still have a lot in front of us, and you have to do it on a consistent basis like he's done with that program. And so, they lose a lot of players, but I have no doubt, and our players have no doubt, our coaches have no doubt that they've got guys waiting for their spot, for their time. I don't know how you replace a guy like Allie Freeman, but I have no doubt that they've got somebody that's going to step in. And they did a really good job, talking about them in taking their personnel and building their offense or their defense around their personnel. And so they did a great job at creating situations for Allie Freeman to have that success. And so now I believe wholeheartedly that they're going to, whoever's the next guy to step in, they'll be able to mold their offense around that. So I sure didn't want to make this sound like a recruiting pitch for Washington Baptist, but I do have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Knight and what he's done.
I understand. Well, I you know what? I think they put together a pretty good recruiting pitch on their own, so
Right.
that would be all right. Honestly, though, Coach, I think you've put together a pretty good recruiting pitch to come to Shawnee, because it seems and looks, and the evidence is there that you all are not only doing it the right way, but you're seeing that success year after year after year. And again, getting the attention from the national voters as well as the league coaches, as the Oklahoma Baptist Bison picked, according to the preseason coaches poll, is fourth in the Great American Conference. Coach Chris Jensen, thank you so much for taking time and visiting with us today, and success to you all and to the team this year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all you do for the conference.